Hello everyone, welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hemvar. Today I'm doing my weekly update. This is Liam's Leapings number 37 for the 29th of April 2023. It's really late, I'm really tired, so I'm going to keep this really short. The first book I finished this week was The Scald by Gregory Amado. This is a novella. I finished it pretty early in the week. It's pretty fun. I think I'll actually have a review out for it soon since it was an arc. I'm not 100% on the release date for it, but I just want to get the review out soon. But I did enjoy it. It's very fun. Um, the next book I finished was House of Chains. If you remember, I was reading this one last week. So I finished House of Chains, Stephen Erickson. This is really fun. It might be my favorite Malazan Book of the Fallen book so far. Not entirely sure. It was really good, just put it that way. And because I really enjoyed House of Chains, I didn't go directly into Midnight Tides, but pretty much directly. The last time I did that, actually, as soon after I read Gardens of the Moon, I started Dead House Gates, but then I moved, and that's basically what made Dead House Gates take a lot longer for me. But I am in a few chapters into Midnight Tides now, so I'm kind of in a Malazan mood, I guess, or Malazan mood. Sorry, but we'll see. I might read another Buckling and Corporal Broach story. But actually, in between those, I decided to read Shadow Games by Glenn Cook. So this is the third novel I finished this week, House Chains, Scald, and then Shadow Games. It's really fun to be back in the Black Company. This is the first book of the South, basically the fourth in the series, and I really enjoyed it. I also got this week. I didn't have a copy of it yet, so I got it just in time. Those are the three books I finished. I mean, of course, I'll have reviews for those all eventually. It'll probably be a while. The one book I think I mentioned this last week. It's The Circumference of the World by Lavi Tidar. Comes out in September. It's fun. I didn't read much of it this week because it's an arc as well, and I didn't read much on my phone this week. So, because that's what I'm reading on my phone, my Kindle app. So, yeah. So that's fun. Hopefully, I'll finish it this week, though. I'm a little, about halfway through, maybe. So, and then one book I started this week, which again I would like to finish. Let me see. I'm about halfway through, maybe a little over halfway through. That is The Wooden Sword by Lynn Abbey. I'm a fan of Lynn Abbey. I've read maybe 4 or 5 of her short stories, and then this is my fourth novel by her. And she's really underrated. She's the one that I compare her generally to Robin Hobb. I haven't read a lot of Robin Hobb. I just know a lot of people say Robin Hobb's like such a great character like writer, and I think Lynn Abbey has some of the most realistic characters ever. That doesn't mean they're always likable, but she's got a very interesting take on fantasy, and this is no different. I'm really enjoying this. It's got a lot of bad reviews on Goodreads. I think they're full of crap, at least so far. So this is part of a duology. I was rearranging books on my shelf because my kids had messed up my books, and then this was one of them. I was like, wow, Lynn Abbey and Janet Morris. I was like, and C.J. Cherry, and there's just so many people I need to get to. So I'm really enjoying The Wooden Sword, though. It's not very long, and it's definitely very fun. I'll have a lot of thoughts about it when I review it. And then I read a couple short stories. It Had to Be Murder by Cornell Woolrich, which is the inspiration for Rear Window, the Hitchcock movie. And then Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl, which I think is a Hitchcock like short or something. I'm not really sure. And then The Birds by Daphne du Maurier, which is another movie by Hitchcock, The Birds, which it's been a long time since I've seen that one. But and I also read some stuff about The Death of Arthur by Bart and The Author and the Living Dead by Stephen Erickson. I will be talking about that, I think, next week. Should be with Raph from Raph Blue Text. I thought he'd be a fun person to have to discuss that essay, specifically the Stephen Erickson one. Now, I did get a few books this week, so I'll just go over these pretty quickly, though. Most of them I got were Glenn Cook books. But the ones that weren't was I got A Letter in Scarlet, A Study in Scarlet, by Arthur Conan Doyle. the first of wow, I'm really tired and I'm totally blanking right now. This guy's stories. What the heck is it? Sherlock Holmes stories. That guy's actually a Mormon, which should be interesting. And then A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. I actually got this one for a class. I have no clue what it's about. And then I got a copy of the Nart sagas, um, which are like Caucasian myths from the Caucasus, like type of thing. Sounds pretty interesting. So I was watching a video on the Scythians, and I was like, and it mentioned this, so I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So, be a fun book to study. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to studying some of the Nart sagas. And then my Glenn Cook stack. So I do this sometimes. This will probably happen next week as well, where I find a book I want, and it's actually cheaper to buy it with a bunch of other books um, than just to buy it by itself, which is really odd. But it happens sometimes, especially on eBay. So Dreams of Steel, I got. This is the sequel to Shadow Games. I'll be reading this one soon, probably. Probably after I finish Midnight Tides. But I'm actually going to read the Silver Spike first, which is the spinoff. A lot of people say you should read the Silver Spike and then Shadow Games. I'm pretty sure Raph recommended Shadow Games and then the Silver Spike. And if you look at the release date, Shadow Games does actually come out first, and then the Silver Spike, and then Dreams of Steel. So I was like, well, why not? I guess. So I'm really interested to see how Ladies arc goes with this one, and then I'm interested to get into even the later Glenn Cook books. I'm really digging the Black Company. I read it last year and I was just surprised at how much I liked it. And then A Shadow of All Night Falling. I believe this is like Glenn Cook's like debut like fantasy series. I believe this is the first book in that series. I don't really know anything about it. And then Old Tin Sorrows. It's like a fantasy like mystery novel. I don't know. It seems maybe a little bit like urban fantasy even. Um, this is not the first book in the series. I don't know if you can read them out of order. I would not be surprised if you could. And then I think these are both books 1 and 2 of the series. We have The Tyranny of Night and Lord of the Silent Kingdom, which are both instrumentalities of the night. Again, they just kind of came with it. So once I finished Black Company, I could see myself reading more Glenn Cook. So I decided, why not? But that's basically that. I just won't update you on my other things for this week since I want to keep this one short. This will come out a little later in the day. What have you done this week? Anything good? I guess I did have actually a column in a newspaper come out, which was an unexpected experience. It's a fun one though, so it is about books as well. So if I remember, I'll remember to link that. And so if you want to read a little column I wrote under the title of Liam's Lyceum, then you can go read that. So anyways, this has been Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.